After World War III, those one who survived created a world without conflicts and wars. This idea is based on suppressing human emotions. In a modern city called Libria, the leaders, known as Tetragrammaton Council, banned any material including art, music, and books that can evoke strong emotions. To enforce such a law, the Tetragrammaton Council formed Grammaton Cleric. Grammaton Cleric is a highly trained task force whose job is to find and eradicate those with ability to feel. Here we are introduced to John Preston, Grammaton Cleric of first class, who is in district called Nethers. During the raid on members of movement resistant group called the Underground, rebels had barricaded themselves in compound, and Preston is called to intervene. Here we have a demonstration of power of clerics. Preston runs into a room without light, armed with 2 handguns, waiting for rebels to stop shooting. When they stop, he is in charge, executing every single of them with stunning accuracy and efficiency. After elimination of threats from rebels, the task force is searching for EC-10, which is the mark for high emotional content. Upon discovery of such material, among the other arts, Mona Lisa is burned as well, after verifying that is original. But the beep! If the Mona Lisa isn't in Europe, I wonder how World War III is finished. On the way back to headquarters, Preston is asking his partner, Errol Partridge, what's the matter with the book in his pocket, and why he hasn't left it with other evidence. He responds that he will log it himself due to the fact that sometimes the evidence team misplaces dangerous materials. Back in Libria, we are shown that Supreme Leader, the Father, is displayed on the giant screen across the city, from which he encourages the citizens to orderly take doses of Prozium, the medicine that helps them control emotions. After his speech, which is repetitive through the movie, citizens cheers for the Father, obviously brainwashed. Preston is at cleric headquarters, reporting to DuPont, the highest-ranking member of the Tetragrammaton Council, next to the Father. DuPont asks him for his unique ability to sense when someone is experiencing strong emotions. Preston answers that he can put himself in a sense offender's skin due to his rich life experience. What the beep? If this is not sense offense, I don't know what it is. After DuPont's office, Preston is on his way to evidence department and check for the book that Partridge should leave there, but he finds out that he hasn't reported anything in weeks, and he went to Nethers to find him. In Nethers, Partridge is in an old abandoned church, reading the book that he should log at the evidence department. Preston asks him, does the punishment worth the ability to feel, and Partridge's answer was quote from a book, that he will gladly pay the price for feeling like a human being. Preston executed Partridge, who is instantly replaced with Brand, an individual highly motivated to climb the ladder of success as a cleric. Back at his house, Preston has a dream about his wife when she was arrested for sense offense. In morning, when he woke up, he stares at his wife's empty bed place and went to the bathroom to brush his teeth, when accidentally drops a vial of Prozium. His son Robbie noticed this and reminds him to go to Equilibrium Center to get replacement for his broken dose of Prozium, on which he agrees. When he arrived there, he finds out that Equilibrium Center is closed due to terrorist attack. Brent comes to pick him up, and they went to perform a raid at Mary O'Brien's house, who is as well sense offender. When Preston finds a hidden room full of the forbidden items, Mary grabs an officer's gun and tries to shoot him. Brent pulls his gun to shoot her, but Preston stops him, arguing that she will be interrogated for her associates and their activities. The next morning, he is awakened in sweat and notices that outside is raining, so he peels away the tint from his window, where he witnesses amazing sunrise. Overwhelmed with emotions, he rushes to the bathroom to eject Prozium, but stops at the last moment, willing to enjoy his new condition. After one of the raids, Brent asks Preston why he has a book in his pocket, on which he replies the same as Patridge to him a couple of days ago. At home, he hides a couple of vials of Prozium behind the mirror, trying to calm down his thoughts. He is practicing sword fighting skills when Brent interrupts him. Brent informs Preston that father has ordered a cleaning operation in others. During the raid, Preston executed several officers in attempts to save rebels who are in the belief that cleric can be on their side. Preston came across rebels lined up against the wall, caught by Brent and officers, ready for execution. Brent offers Preston to do an honor, which latter refuses, and Brent, suspecting that he is in low ammo, offers him his gun, but again Preston refuses Brent's offer, giving him back his gun. Strongly disappointed in himself for not saving the rebels earlier, he went to the morgue to visit Partridge's dead body and inspect his personal belongings, trying to identify with him due to his new condition and his feeling that they are new to him, despite that he is a middle-aged man. What the beep? In metal case, he finds some photos, and among them a photo with Mary. Hence, he went to visit Mary and gather some info on photo. When Preston confronts her with a photo of them together, she admits their love affair. Preston then tells her that he was executor on once Mary went for a pen and tried to stab Preston in the neck. Inspecting the personal belongings, Preston learned that Patridge had a contact with Underground through a man named Jurgen. So following the lead, he went to school in Sector 42, where he interrogates a professor, and when become unsatisfied with the answer, he throws him through a wall, discovering the hidden room. What the beep? I wonder how many hidden rooms are in this movie. Then we are introduced to Jurgen, leader of the Underground. Jurgen said to Preston that they have been watching him and that they know how he feels, and that then presents the Underground and everyday life in it. Before the big role, Preston is put on a lie detector so that leadership of the Underground can see itself that Preston is feeling. On a mention of Mary's name, Polygraph went crazy, which means that he had passed the test, and he asked what he can do for the resistance, on what Jurgen said that he should kill the father. Upon this, he is back at Libria, and on a report meeting with Dupont. Hence, he is asked to elaborate on his time lately, so he informs Dupont that he is in contact with Underground, trying to infiltrate their organization, so that he can shut them down forever. In the following scene, Preston is on a meeting with Jurgen, informing him that it will be impossible to assassinate the father, because he hasn't met with anyone for a long time, exactly because of possibility of assassination, upon which the Underground will take the action on Prozium Labs to interrupt his supply for 1 day, calculating that 1 day without Prozium should be enough to evoke emotions. Preston is convinced and he agrees on a plan. Later on, at his desk, he watched the video of execution of his wife, this time without Prozium effect. He blames himself for not trying to do something back then, but this time with Mary he wants to do the right thing and runs to the incineration chamber to prevent her death. But too late, the process has already started. Preston holds back his tears, looking her eyes. Outside he breaks down and starts crying when he is arrested by Brent and taken to Dupont. Brent informs Dupont and the council that Preston has executed those officers in Nether and that he is being involved in a romantic relationship with women. On another side, Preston reveals that he has succeeded in exposing the traitor between the clerics, and that is Brent. What the beep? Brent is taken away to prison, and Dupont said to Preston that there is ongoing search of his house initiated by Brent. Preston tells Dupont that he has no problem with it, but he is disappointed with the fact that he hasn't met the father yet, and Dupont agrees that he had deserved to meet him. Preston rushed to his home to prevent firing of Prozium vials behind the bathroom mirror, but to his surprise they are not there, and his son enters in a bathroom showing vials, warning him that he should be more careful in future. Robbie then reveals that he and his sister are not using Prozium since the mother's death. In a following scene, Preston reports the underground members and they are taken away into custody. Before meeting the father, Preston must pass the polygraph test, during which Brent shows up. What the beep? The father leads Preston into situation development where they have played him with Brent's arrest so that he turn over the underground leaders. The image on the screen changes and the pond is suddenly displayed, revealing that he is pretending that he is the father since the real father died years ago. Once again, angry with himself that he has not seen this plot that they have been prepared for him, pulls out a gun concealed in his sleeves and went on killing spree, eliminating everybody in the room. When he gets into Dupont's office, Preston eliminates one by one Dupont's bodyguards, and then comes Brent's turn. To be honest, I was expecting that he will put more resistance into this sword fight, but Preston neutralized him in 3 moves, with his sword like he has dummy on the opposite side. Dupont grabs a gun, as well as Preston, and 2 of them get into final battle. Dupont is highly skillful with a gun, demonstrating gun kata on Preston, but empowered with his anger and rage he kills Dupont. Then he destroyed PR command center for broadcasting father's messages across Libria, when an explosion starts all over at Libria in Prozium labs, announcing better times for citizen, or at least with higher sentiment. Better or worse, but still sentiment. Thanks for watching and peace out.